name is Jenna and today I'm here doing my December wrap up for 2017 and my January TBR for 2018. Cause that's the thing, cause it's 2018 now and it's January now, and okay, if I keep talking about that I'm just going to freak myself out, so instead we're just going to jump straight into the books that I read. So in December I managed to finish 4 books, 1 was an audiobook, 3 were physical books, and I have a few books on my TBR for January. So let's get straight into the books that I read in the month of December. So the first book that I finished in December was A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. I actually didn't have the physical copy for the longest time. I got this for Christmas, so instead I had been listening to the audiobook, which was phenomenal, by the way. Highly recommend that you listen to the audiobook. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars because, oh my goodness, it was so good. Like, I became obsessed with this story. I think anyone who was watching my channel during like the bookman videos would know that I became obsessed with this story. I loved all of the characters. I thought it was a really simple story. Obviously this is aimed at children and the children characters were very true. They were very kind of straight to the point. I got a lot of the plot. There was a lot of the plot that I actually didn't see coming. All the stuff with it, I had no idea what that was all going to be. I had no idea what they were going to be doing on the planet. I just had no idea about so many things and it surprised me in the best way. I finished the audiobook when I was on break at work and I was basically sobbing and screaming. I was like, it's this is the answer, and it just got to the point where my life was pretty much completely taken over by this book and I absolutely thoroughly loved it to pieces, and yeah, definitely 5 out of 5 stars from me for this one. The second book that I finished in December was Homecoming by Cass Morgan. I was continuing on with my reread of the 100 series because I met Cass Morgan in November at Adelaide Supernova. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars, which I believe I did drop the rating from the rating that I had it on Goodreads. It was originally 5 stars and I've dropped it down to 4. This book is really fun. It is the wrap up of the first trilogy of these books, so you definitely can see the ending of a lot of storylines. There was some heartbreak in this one. The characters really went through a lot, especially Bellamy and Clark. They went through so much together, but they came out stronger on the other side. The plot really sort of tied everything up and I just really thoroughly enjoyed this one. Would definitely recommend it to sci-fi romance lovers because there was a lot of romance in this book, I have to say, but the sci-fi aspect was there too and it was just so good and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. The third book that I read in December was Rebellion, also by Cass Morgan. This is the final book in the 100 series, so I'm now finished with my 100 reread, which makes me so happy. I left this one at a rating of 5 out of 5 stars because I think this book is definitely my favorite book in the 4-book series, because for me this one has a bigger focus on survival rather than the romance aspect, and while I do still love the romance, I have to say the survival is kind of what kicks it for me. So this one has a bigger focus on survival. The characters are really thrown through the ringer in this one. Like, we have a little bit at the beginning where it's like everything's happy and everyone's fine, and then it's like, and chaos, death, destruction, and I love that, but everything kind of, you know, it goes around in the end. We got a lot of Balak in this book, which, you know me, Balak is my life, so I highly recommend that you go pick this book up once you've read the rest of the series. I read this one back in 2016 and I did a review of that one, which I will actually leave linked in the description box below because my opinions have not changed, so everything that I say in that review is exactly how I felt reading this book the second time around. And the last book that I read in December was actually an arc, and that was Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This book is going to be released in the middle of January, I believe, and oh my goodness, it was so good, guys. Guys, it was so good. So I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars because it blew my mind when I was reading it. Hey guys, it's Jenna from the future. I'm editing this video now and I've just realized that I made an error by saying that I gave Truly Devious 5 out of 5 stars. I actually only gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars, mainly because of the reasons I'm going to talk about later with the romance. I just felt the romance was really forced and I dropped a star, but I forgot to talk about that in this video. So Truly Devious, 4 out of 5 stars. So basically I went on a houseboat over New Year's, so I had a long like 3.5 hour drive on the way up there, so I was like, you know what, why not read Truly Devious? I have to read it before January anyway, so I read it. Let's put it this way, I didn't know that it had a sequel. I thought it was a standalone novel. It's not a standalone, it has a sequel. In fact, I think it's a 3-part series, and I need answers. So basically, by the end of the book, I had some answers, but I didn't have all the answers, and I remember I was on the boat, and I was reading it, and when it ended, I threw the book on the ground, and everyone just looked at me, they're like, what is going on? No, I didn't get the answers that I wanted, and but it was so good, it blew my mind. I loved the characters, I loved the plot. It's basically like an Agatha Christie style mystery, but at a school. It was amazing and I loved it like so much. So highly recommend that everybody picks this one up when the book comes out because it is so ridiculously good. But y'all will know now it's part of a series. It's not its own thing, which I thought it was. So ending the book the way it did, not fair. That's not cool. So those are the 4 books that I read in December, and now I'm just going to jump straight into the books that I'm planning on reading in January. Like I've been doing for the last couple of months, I'm not going to be telling you my entire January TBR because I didn't really make one. Instead, I'm going to be telling you the YA Circle book of the month. I'm going to be telling you about any books that I need to read and review, and I'm also going to be telling you about the books that I'm going to be reading part of the Shadowhunter Chronicles read along thing, buddy read that I am doing with Alex over at A Zombie Booktuber, which I will leave her link in the description box below. Also a link to her YA Room channel because she runs that as well. So so the YA Circle book of the month for this month is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I don't yet have a physical copy of this one. I haven't yet been to the bookstore to buy it. I am going to read that one. I actually don't know what it's about at all. I think it's about fairies. I hope it's about fairies. I'm in the mood for a little bit of a fairy read. But yeah, I don't actually know what it's about. All I know is it's our January book of the month for the YA Circle, so I'm gonna read it and probably enjoy it, but I don't actually know what it's about, so yay. I then have 2 books that I need to read as part of the Shadowhunter Chronicles read the thing that I'm doing, and that is City of Bones and City of Ashes, both by Cassandra Clare, obviously. So this book is the first book and this book is the second book in the Mortal Instruments series, which is the first series in the overall Chronicles. Not the first chronologically, but the first that was published. So if you aren't aware, City of Bones follows a girl named Clary Frey who on her 16th birthday discovers that she is a shadow hunter, which means that she can see demons and is supposed to hunt them. Her mother goes missing and Clary ends up teaming up with this group of young shadow hunters in order to get her back. It is so good. It's a reread for me, but I am so super pumped to read it and love it, and just I've been meaning to reread this series for the longest time and it's finally happening! And then the book that I need to read and review this month is Greyvale by Lynette Noni. I have to read this one, or I should say I have to reread this one for like the 4th time, but first time in physical form, so I'm really excited about it. Anyway, I have to read it and review it because I am currently working on the videos for Greyvale Week. I will leave a link in the description box below to our announcement video if you want to check out more on that one. But I am super excited to be rereading this book. I love it so much. It's literally my favorite book in the series. I love the characters in it, the plot. I love everything about this book, and I cannot wait for it to be released in February so that you guys can all read it too and love it just as much as I do. And there we have it. That was my December wrap up and my January TBR. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what books you read in December and which books you are planning on reading in January. I would absolutely love to know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.